You download a free app. The receipt says $0, so the decision feels almost costless. Then a quick check becomes 40 minutes. Nothing left your bank account, but something still left your day. A conversation did not happen. A task moved to tomorrow. Sleep started later. This is the first rule of the attention economy. Price and cost are not the same thing. Free describes the cash price. It does not tell you what the product is built to collect or what your time quietly replaced. In 1971, economist and decision scientist Herbert A. Simon described the basic scarcity. A wealth of information, he argued, creates a poverty of attention. The reason is simple. Information can multiply faster than your ability to notice, compare, and act on it. Your day does not expand when 10,000 new posts arrive. You can still attend to only a narrow stream at one moment. So the scarce resource is not content. It is the limited human capacity that every message, video, alert, and advertisement is competing to consume. Most ad-supported apps connect three different parties. You receive a useful service without paying at the door. The platform receives your visits, attention, and behavioral signals. Advertisers pay the platform for chances to reach people who might care about an offer. That does not mean a company literally sells your minutes in a jar, and the slogan "You are the product" is too crude. The platform is usually selling access to advertising opportunities, a place, a moment, and a predicted audience. Your attention makes those opportunities possible. Here is the business mechanism. More active users create more sessions. Longer or more frequent sessions create more eligible moments to show an ad. Those moments become inventory. Advertisers compete for that inventory based on the audience, context, and result they want. The platform earns money when impressions or actions are delivered. Company filings make the incentive visible. Alphabet reported that more than 70% of its 2025 revenue came from online advertising, while Meta said it generated substantially all of its revenue from advertising. Attention is not the only input, but it is central to the machine. Why would an advertiser pay for one tiny rectangle on your screen? Because attention can change probability. The right message, shown to the right person at a useful moment, may increase the chance of a click, a sign-up, or a purchase. Platforms use auctions and prediction systems to decide which ad gets the opportunity and what that opportunity is worth. Not every second is equally valuable. A tired scroll, an urgent search, and a shopping comparison create different contexts. The market prices a predicted chance to influence action, not human attention as a single uniform substance. The $0 price is not a trick by itself. It is a distribution strategy. Removing payment friction lets a service reach far more people, including users who would never buy a subscription. A larger audience can create better network effects, more content, more data for improving recommendations, and more advertising inventory. Advertiser money then cross-subsidizes the service for users. This can produce enormous real value, communication, maps, search, education, and entertainment at global scale. The trade-off is that the paying customer's goal can shape what the product optimizes. Your personal cost is best measured with opportunity cost. Ask what the next 40 minutes would have done if the app had not taken them. Maybe nothing important. Rest and entertainment are legitimate uses of time. But perhaps those minutes would have finished a proposal, continued a book, exercised, called a parent, or protected sleep. The cost is not that every enjoyable minute online is wasted. The cost appears when the chosen session repeatedly replaces something you value more, without forcing you to notice the exchange. The loop becomes stronger because the product learns from behavior. What you open, skip, finish, replay, search, and share becomes evidence about what may hold you next time. Better prediction can make a service genuinely more useful. It can also make disengagement less likely, because every successful session teaches the system which topics, formats, and moments keep you present. This is an incentive, not mind control, and it is not proof that every user is addicted. But when engagement supports revenue, product teams face steady pressure to turn successful attention into repeatable attention. It is easy to turn this story into a cartoon. Free equals evil, paid equals good. Reality is messier. An ad-supported app can respect time, minimize data, and solve a real problem. A paid product can still chase daily engagement, upsells, or habitual use. Business models create pressures, not guaranteed behavior. The useful question is not whether money changes hands at download. It is which outcome keeps the organization healthy. If revenue grows when you accomplish a task and leave, the incentives differ from revenue that grows when you remain available for another impression. Before calling an app free, run a 3-question audit. First, who pays? A subscriber, an advertiser, a seller, an employer, or someone else. Second, what counts as success inside the product? A solved problem, a completed transaction, or more time and more impressions. Third, what did this session replace? Then use the answer. Turn off non-essential alerts. Open the tool with a purpose. Set an external stopping point when the product has no reason to provide one. You do not need to reject free apps. You need to count the resource their price tag leaves out.